Welcome to the Dominate Your Niche podcast with me, Ruth Ferreira. Here we chat to some of today's best small business leaders, individuals who are shaking up their industry and dominating their niche. The show tackles all things business growth, from strategy, marketing and branding, and delves into the secrets of what it takes to dominate your niche. The aim of this podcast is to empower founders with big dreams, small and micro businesses, and even solopreneurs who are looking to make a big impact. People who are hungry to learn from those who have gone before them and implement that knowledge to next level in their own business. So welcome, lean in, and then go take action to propel yourself towards dominating your niche in your small business. Welcome to the latest episode of the Dominate Your Niche podcast with me, Ruth Ferreira. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to Susie Hassler, personal stylist and founder of Styled by Susie. Susie's a magazine contributor and columnist, and she's available for fashion forecasting trends and style tips for high street budgets. Susie runs a beautiful, heart-led business that is inspiring thousands of women to look and feel more confident in who they are. Key themes from our conversation include organic growth, building a community of fans that hype you and your services, the challenges of running a small business, and the importance of a strong mindset. What a gorgeous episode. I can't wait for you to listen. Hi, Susie. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Very excited.
Very excited. I was telling you earlier, I've had some very high profile guests on here, but I am probably most excited for you because I have been in your world as a client of your team for about 3 years now, and I have seen the transformative effect that you have on people's lives. So do you want to tell our listeners what it is that you do?
I am a personal stylist for, I don't like the word real women, but I'd say women like me. I started my business for women like me, and I've been in business for 13 years. I started the business as a hobby, and it was really to help women with their style, with their wardrobe, but on a high street budget. So we've always had access to, I don't know, high-end personal styling, but there's never been anything for the likes of me that shops in New Look or my local Sainsbury's or knowing what to go for. So I created Styled by Susie 13 years ago to help women with their high street style and feeling good about themselves.
I love that. And you are what I personally would describe as a social impact business. I don't think most people would describe you, but I see the transformation that your clients have in terms of their confidence, in terms of how they feel about themselves, and in terms of what they are then enabled to go and do in the world and the impact that they are personally able to have. So I absolutely love what you and your team do. So you have grown your business over the last 13 years. You started off, I understand, as literally a team of one going around with a bag of like color, what do you call them, swaths or something?
Yeah, colours, yeah, swatches, drapes.
Color swatches, drapes. And now you have a really significant online business, obviously doing shops in person, but also with a lot of online clientele. Can you tell me about your business growth journey and how you got to where you are today?
The beauty of my business journey so far is that it's all been organic, particularly in the first few years. So I did start out just me, just a suitcase full of colour swatches and booklets that I typed up at the time sneakily on my computer in my current, well, my at the time office job back then. And the idea was that I would go to a client's house and I would identify her colouring and her body shape, and I'd leave her with a booklet that contained all the information she could need, tops, bottoms, dresses, and colour swatches showing her what to wear. So I would do one-to-one sessions in people's houses. I did style parties, which was really good fun on a Friday night, Saturday night. And I worked my little socks off, really, at the time, probably about 5 days a week. sometimes 6, sometimes evenings as well. It was pretty intense for the first couple of years. And I don't think I even broke even at the time financially. I gave a lot of vouchers away in local raffles just to spread the word, really. And the beauty of my business is that because it's such a visual change that people would have, because like you said, it's not just what they were wearing that was different, it was that they were more confident, they were putting themselves out there a little bit more. So because people noticed that change, that then sparks a conversation. So each client led to another, like a lovely, beautiful tree, I think, of my business, all these people that lead on from one another. And it just grew organically. I didn't really, at the time, have to advertise much what I was doing. It was just word of mouth. And my business at the time was very local. So I would go probably, I don't know, I'd say maybe the most 10 miles from where I was living. But the more word spread, the more demand there was for something more remote, which is how I created the online sessions, so that I could help people that were further away from where I lived and abroad. And yeah, now we're styling clients in New Zealand, Australia, New York. I mean,
Wow,
my
love that.
goodness, it truly is global now, and it blows my mind that it's gone from me in a little pink suitcase in my car on a Friday night, trying to find a house number in the dark, to styling a client in Brooklyn. It still
My
blows my mind.
goodness, that blows my mind as well. And I can't wait for the day, because I bet there's going to be a day where somebody actually flies you out to style them there in person. Have you had that yet?
No, but do you know what? I'm manifesting it.
Oh my God, I can totally see it. I can't wait. You have to let me know.
Oh, I will.
So from what I can see, your personal brand and your business brand has played a key part in your journey. Was that something that you were consciously forming? Did that
In
come?
what sense?
Well, you've got a very strong personal brand, and you're very visible on social media. Has that played a part in the growth that you've had?
Yes, I would say so. I think I always show up as me, I suppose,
Yeah.
is where that comes in. I don't have to, I'm not, how I appear on social media is absolutely how I would appear if you bumped into me in Sainsbury's and introduced yourself. So for me, social media, I love it because it's just a chance for me to connect with clients. It's a chance for me to show that I am who you would be working with. I've made sure that the stylists that I've got on my team now, we are all singing very much from the same hymn sheet. We all have that warm, welcoming personality. And yeah, I absolutely will tell you what I've had for breakfast. I will tell you what I'm obsessing over on Netflix. And it kind of, I don't think it's sort of an intentional thing. It's that I genuinely enjoy putting myself out there and having a chit chat with everybody. But then equally, I think that's fed in nicely to the fact that people want to work with Styled by
People
Susie.
people feel like they're friends with you, I think, before you've even spoken to them. Is that something that's true to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because I think what we're doing is such a personal thing. You know, tackling somebody's image and going into your house and looking through your wardrobe. I mean, I can't think of anything that is much more personal than that. So if you feel like you've already connected with somebody on almost like a friendship basis, and you know all of my quirks and, you know, side of my personality, that's going to help you feel much more comfortable. So yeah, I think it does go hand in hand.
I love it. So the thing I've seen in your business that has most impressed me has been your membership, because you have a membership that is based around a Facebook community and, how do you say it, Patreon posts?
I think it's Patreon, but
Patreon. Okay,
I
I
never
don't know.
know.
I've literally never said that word until just now. Should prep better for this. And literally, you have 1,200 members, all just paying a tiny monthly membership, but within a Facebook community who are celebrating each other, supporting each other. I imagine taking a lot of the work of running that membership from you and your team. and who are extremely actively selling your services to each other. Congratulations. That is something that people
you.
dream of achieving.
Thank
How did you
you.
do that?
I mean, I don't want to sound really nonchalant, but I never go into anything. I think with my business and my whole ethos behind Styled by Susie, I'm very heart-led. And the way that I created the community in the first place, I wanted to concentrate on quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
I did used to have an extremely large Facebook group that was free, and it wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't. And what I wanted was this lovely sort of safe place that you could almost like the world's loveliest coffee shop, that everybody could come in and they could take their shoes off and they could have a chat and feel comfortable and share their outfits in a really non-judgmental way and big each other up. And again, that the inspiration for that was because I wanted to create that. I never, maybe it's probably bad from a business perspective, but I never go into something thinking, oh, I wonder how much that could make, or I wonder how many members I could get in that. I mean, at the end of a month, and I think, wow, there's 1,200 people in that group. That's incredible.
That is incredible, by the way. Congratulations.
Because thank you. Because I
And it's,
remember the first time I created it and I saw that those first 2 members join, and I thought, oh my God, someone really believes in this.
oh, sweetheart, I love that.
So that is how I created it. I go with what I feel is needed in the world, and the rest kind of follows.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah, that's how I
Definitely,
did it.
definitely something I see for you. It's very heart-led. Like your mission is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
So, I know you've been on a big mindset journey recently. Tell me a bit about that.
I think I've always been interested in bettering my mind and my learning as much as I can about myself anyway. I do suffer with my mental health, always have done since I was a teenager. Anxiety, depression, various things in life have exasperated that over the years. But this year in the summer, I became quite ill with hepatitis, completely out of the blue. And it really forced me to make some lifestyle changes. That was around completely cutting alcohol out of my diet, which was a big part of my life. And yeah, just looking after myself, not going crazy at the gym like I was, instead taking up walking,
Mm-hmm.
which I always thought, it's a bit boring. But walking is one of the things that I think has transformed me this year, because it gives me that
Wow.
chance. I absolutely love it. Walking is something that I really prioritize, and I make space for it, whether it's early in the morning and it's pouring with rain, whether it's just half an hour around the block. It doesn't have to be a 4-mile walk or anything like that. But on those walks, I will either listen to a podcast, I'll listen to music, or I'll just walk in silence. And the combination, I think, of having that space where I'm walking, I'm outside, I'm in nature, and I've made health changes along the way with cutting out alcohol, it's just given me that extra space to really think and really focus on my mindset and how I want to feel, and realizing that so much of how you feel and how you think is a choice every day. And I really try to lean into that and be conscious of, how do I want to feel today? What choices do I want to make today about my mind? And I don't think people realize how powerful that can be.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And we alluded to earlier the sort of ups and downs of a small business owner's journey. And I think this is something people don't really talk about. But how have you found the highs and lows of running a business? Because from the surface, you look like you were smashing it.
Thank
But I
you.
know, and I get that a lot, but we
Yeah.
know that behind the scenes, it can feel very different and it can be quite mentally tough. So I'd love to know what is your experience of that? And do you have any advice for anyone who's in the same position?
I think one of the first word that sprung to mind when I think about the lows is loneliness. because you can have the best support network with friends and family, you can have people on your team, but there's a real sense of loneliness that I think that comes generally when you run a business, when it's your name above the door and the times are hard. And that for me is something that, not having that person above me, you know, when I used to work in an office, and I'd always have that, if I had a tricky customer or I had a situation I didn't know how to handle, I felt out of my depth, I had somebody that I could go, oh, I'll speak to him and I'll find out what to do. Or but that's me now, and that's terrifying sometimes. Sometimes it's great because you can really make great decisions and you don't have to go to anybody to decide to do something. But when it goes to pot, it's scary. So I think, I mean, I'd say the two most challenging parts of the business so far, I think the first part was COVID, hopefully something that businesses will never have to face again.
Yeah. Although
Because
I have, and I didn't know you pre-COVID. I think I came across you in 2021. I imagine COVID actually might have been quite beneficial for your business. Like, it had to completely change, but those changes haven't necessarily been bad from what I can see.
yeah, I think again, I think I tried to make the best of a bad situation. So I think I could have, we were refunding left, right and centre.
Oh
We were
gosh.
refunding. I had a year's worth of personal shops that had to be cancelled.
Oh my
Not just
goodness.
me, I had expanded my team 2 months before the pandemic started.
Oh my goodness.
So I had
And
taken on four new stylists who had all
wow.
left their full-time jobs to work for me. And suddenly everything was cancelled.
Oh my goodness. That is, I'm so sorry. But
Thank you.
you survived it. That's actually quite
Yeah.
impressive in itself.
Well, I kind of think that we absolutely we had to pivot. So we were, it was full on survival mode. We were talking how to feel good in your loungewear, how to dress working from home. You know, we did style challenges probably every other week. We were absolutely putting our all into it. And yeah, I think that sort of connection with people online, that was a really good thing to come out of it.
Mhm.
But the bad and scary thing was, when are we going to be back in the shops? You know,
The unknown.
people were at one point, people were really jumping on you if you were encouraging people to order stuff, because it was putting the postal workers at risk and it was putting the delivery drivers at risk. So people were saying you shouldn't be advising people to order clothes at this time. It was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. But yeah, absolutely, the whole style challenge concept was born in that time.
Oh, amazing. I did one of your challenges last week and it was so fun. I
It's
love
so
that.
fun.
Your I think your Friday theme was sparkle or something. So I wore a sequin blazer to
I
one of my
saw it.
mastermind. It was, oh, honestly,
It looks amazing.
I could not have been happier, like, to have something push me to wear. I'm actually going to wear sequins to my other masterminding group tomorrow. And I'm
Brilliant.
encouraging them. I don't think anyone's going to do it, but you never know. I'm encouraging them to join in. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know how we get
Oh,
on.
please do. I
But
would
if
love
not,
to
it'll
know.
just be me, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. If you're looking to grow your business, I have something that may change your life. The Success Method course is for small business owners who would like to take their business and their profits to the next level in the next 12 months. Click the link in the show notes to find out more. Okay, so what is the one thing you wish you'd known before embarking on your business journey?
Oh, I love that question. What's the one thing I wish I'd known? I'd say, can I have two?
Yes, absolutely.
I like to push it. The first one, always trust your gut, your instinct about things, because I think the more we asking for advice from other people is great, but sometimes, you know, straight away, you already know, you know, an instinct about something, whether it's the right time to do something, whether that person is right to bring into your business, whatever it is, you have to trust that. What's that feeling? So for me, I would look outward less and I would look in more for that guidance. But again, I think
Beautiful.
that comes with confidence and experience to do that. And the other one is, what was the other one? The other one is, don't take things personally. I think
Yeah.
I wanted to cling on to every client that came to me. And if I ever saw that a client had at some point gone to another stylist or hadn't come back or whatever it was, I really took that personally. And I think even taking it personally in the early days, if someone didn't like their online shop, and I would cry. I'd get an email from someone saying, this doesn't feel like me. And I'd cry and I would phone my husband and I'd say, oh my God, like they don't like it. They don't like me. They don't like, it's funny when I think about it now. And I don't react like that at all now. I
Mm.
think the most important thing for me, whether it's a bad review, whether it's somebody who's just not happy with their shop, that's absolutely fine. If I am in that position and I'm not happy when I've gone to a company, the most important thing for me is, how does that company handle it? So if I feel like I've gone out of my way to maybe try and do another shop for that person or revise it, or, why wasn't it quite right? Can we tweak it? Can we redo this for you? Like, how can we make this? And if you've done all of that and you that client still leaves you and isn't happy, that's fine. I've done my bit. I'm happy with how I've handled that, and I don't take it personally anymore. And I think, again, I don't know if that comes from growth and experience, but I think I'd say business and personal should be separate. It's not they don't like you as a person. It's a business thing. And the more you can just remove that emotion from it, remove emotion is the thing I'd say is one of my best pieces of advice I could give anybody.
Oh my goodness, I love that. I love that. And you sound very evolved. I mean, I know it's been 13 years, so you've definitely had that period of growth. But yeah, there's a lot of wisdom there.
Thank you.
So if Susie Hassler 20 years ago were to knock on your front door right now, what would her reaction be? What would she be thinking?
If she knocked on my door,
Yeah.
I think she'd be absolutely shocked.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Tell me more.
Because I never in a million years would have thought I would run a business. I didn't fail at school, but I didn't leave school with great grades. I pretty much flunked my A levels because I just wasn't really interested. Didn't go to uni, went into the first office job I got and just stayed doing that for 15 years. And I just thought to myself, I wasn't unhappy about it. I thought, well, this is me, this is my life. It's all right. If that person saw that I've run a business for 13 years and the stuff I've done in that time, I don't think she would have believed it. I still struggle to believe it myself some days.
I love it. I think she'd be very proud of you.
I
Like
think
blown
so.
away proud of you.
I think the resilience I've had to build in that time is, and sometimes it's forced upon you to build that resilience, but then you look back and you think, I'm really glad that happened because I needed that. So I think she'd be proud.
I know she'd be proud. You're far too modest, Susie. I love it. And now listen, if you could give her some advice yourself 20 years ago, what would it be?
Your questions are brilliant.
I know. It's not my first time.
It's really making me think. I love it. Again, I think so much that I still struggle with now is self-doubt. Not so much on the good days, definitely on the bad days. Questioning myself all the time. Am I good enough? Am I qualified enough? Am I enough, essentially? And that was tenfold back then.
Okay.
So I think I would say, you have all the skills, you know it all.
You've got what it takes.
Yeah, you've got what it takes, and you don't need anybody else to tell you that you can do it. because you've already got all that in you. And yeah, you've believe in yourself, essentially. Trust yourself.
Love it. Love it. And if you don't mind, I would just like to say that you are absolutely enough. From what I can see, you should be really proud of everything that you've achieved.
Thank you so
And it
much.
really looks like you're smashing it and you're making
Thank
a
you.
massive impact to people who really need it.
Oh, thank you so much. And I love having you with us along, part of the journey as well. You're such a fabulous part of our community. And
Oh,
whenever I see that colour, that's a Ruth colour. That's a colour that I
do you know?
massively
So,
associate with you.
for our listeners, I am wearing a cobalt blue blazer that you might have seen all over my social media. And it's really interesting because this is not a brand color, but actually, one of my clients who is a brand strategist told me literally on Friday, she's like, Ruth, that is your brand color.
Yeah.
So I think when we rebrand, having a rebrand next year. This may become one of my colors, which is great. It's a,
100%.
cobalt blue, universal color. What could be better?
It's also a really trustworthy colour, but also a really powerful colour as well. And it is just I do often associate colours with people, and that is a colour that when I think of Ruth, that colour, it's like
Oh, I
they're
love
they're
it.
they're one.
Love it. Awesome. I had a really good question for you, and it's totally gone. Okay, I got it back. So, talk to me about habits. So, what we do on a daily basis tends to take us towards where we want to be or further away from it. And I suspect you're somebody who's got some strong success habits going on. Maybe you don't see them as success habits, but are there any things, any non-negotiables that you have day to day that have impacted your journey?
I think for me, I have to tell myself that no matter hard to put it into words. I'd say more recently walking. I'd say I
Yeah.
have to do a walk every day, even if
Okay.
it's just
Every
half an
day,
hour.
non-negotiable. Love
Every day,
it.
non-negotiable. Um, I have to check in with myself each day, because if I force myself to do a session and I'm really not in the right headspace, I'm tired, I've done a lot that day. I used to push myself to do it, and I would sit up at 10 o'clock at night and do it. And quite often I'd think, "Oh, I don't know if that was my best work. I don't know if it took me twice as long to do because I'm tired."
Yeah.
I give myself permission to check in with myself every day. And I think to myself, right, today is going to be a productive day. We are going to time block it. We are going to, and other days, if I don't feel like I'm going to be doing my best work, I go easy on myself. So I do take it day by day.
Mm.
But yeah, I'd say a definite non-negotiable is going for a walk, and lots of double espressos first thing in the morning.
Yes, I am all about the coffee. I love it. I love it. And Susie, you look to me like you're somebody who's doing quite well with balance in your life. Is that fair to say? Is that something you've been conscious to build in?
Yeah, I think it's a work in progress sometimes. I think there are definitely times when it sometimes just blows up and you get loads of orders at once and you suddenly think, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
But I think
You're
I've got the
quite good at
right,
closing the orders, aren't you, when that
yeah.
happens?
And I think, again, that takes confidence that people will wait. I think there's always that worry that, well, they'll go somewhere if we don't.
Do you know, I actually think it drives demand even more.
Yeah,
I don't think you've
agree.
done it intentionally, but I think there's a real FOMO so that when you open up, so I can't even remember what it is, but some sort of online analysis,
Yeah.
especially you've got a new one that I want to get that, by the way. It's the new kind of the
Oh,
deeper color analysis.
yeah,
And literally, people are just hanging out to grab that. So
yeah.
I think it's worked really well for you driving demand.
Yeah, it has. And I think they're probably the rarer occasions now that will get a real boost in something like that. But I think on the whole, I do have a good balance. I think it took me a good few years to work out the right ratio of how many on how many days I wanted to work from home compared to how many days I wanted to work in person, because if I work too much at home, I feel like I'm out of the loop of the shops and people and working with people. If I work too much with people, I get very drained because I put everything into it, and I don't have any time to work on the business or do online. So I think the balance comes from working out what's your happy medium. How do you work best? And also the thing I'm trying to aim for more recently is that I don't work at the weekends. Might do a bit on social media if I have to, but I try at the moment to get ahead on everything so that I'm not sat there on a Saturday early morning in my pajamas catching up. So
we've all been there. Far too recently in my case.
I think it's just being self-disciplined, isn't it? Because you've got no one there that's gonna motivate you. So you absolutely have to motivate yourself. And the more you do that, the more you get used to doing it.
I love it. I love it. Well, Susie, do you know what? I think we've probably talked for longer than I intended to. It's been such a pleasure. For our listeners who are like, man, I want to be more confident in what I'm wearing, showing up, feeling great about myself in clothes that flatter my colouring and my body, where can they find you? How can they come into your world?
The best place to find us is the website, which has all of our services on it, and you can see all the beautiful team on there.
Love it. So that's styledbysusie.com?
It is styledbysusie.co.uk.
.co.uk. Don't go to the .com, guys. Amazing. And you're big on Instagram as well, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm on Instagram, so styled.by.susie. But if you go to the website, you can follow all the social links on there.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Susie. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
Thank you for listening today. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe and leave us a review. Even better, come connect with me, Ruth Ferreira, on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'd love to get to know you.